Well, last night had a little of everything and a whole lot of home runs. The captain, Caballero, and then Grisham. They had the Bombers ahead for this bout in the Bronx. And then the heavyweights started going swing for swing. Judge and Trout, 6 MVPs between them. 4 homers last night and nearly a 5th. But it took one last big blast from the big sleep to help put the Angels to bed with a wild pitch. Right here being the finishing touch on a wild walk-off victory for the Yankees. Certainly quite a way to start this homestand. And tonight, we will see what they have planned for Game 2 as the Yankees will again deploy all of their righties. Goldschmidt, Judge, and Stanton, the best power hitters in the game, they take center stage in the encore. Let's get you ready as the New York Yankees face the Los Angeles Angels on a Tuesday night at Yankee Stadium. Welcome, everybody, to the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Justin Shackle, Todd Frazier with you. It's the second of this 4-game series between the Yankees and the Angels. And Todd, last night, whole lot of excitement and power for the Yankees. They're looking to see if that all carries over into tonight. Let's get to your Hyundai opening comment.
Well, the surge was on. It seemed like every time they hit the baseball, a run was scored and the ball was going over the fence. They've had 14 homers in 15 games before this. That was 17 best. Now they climb the ranks. Judge, 2 homers. Grisham, 2 homers. Caballero with the big homer as well to take the lead. Honestly, this is the hitting team that we know and love and enjoy. Yeah, they're going to need it a little bit. Weathers has been pitching fantastic. How about a couple more today for him? Get him some run support. Have the Yankees get the lead early, get it often, and don't look back.
So 2 home runs for Aaron Judge. 47th time that he's had a multi-homer game in his career. And I have to imagine that second home run off Sean Anderson was a tad sweeter after Anderson came in high and tight. Well, this is a look at his first home run, though.
Yeah, excuse me. When a ball comes high and tight, I think the biggest thing is you want to get him back as soon as possible. There's a hanging split finger fastball that Judge does what he does best. And I think the biggest part of this, when he hits a home run, it kind of eases everybody. But that doesn't ease anybody there. Judge is going to let you know, do not come inside on me. If I was Anderson, I would have came back in there and then a slider away, had him thinking maybe he's going to come in high, maybe he's coming in a little tight. Next thing you know, he makes the adjustment. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to come back in there and let you know I wasn't afraid. Judge says, okay, fine. You want to come back in? I understand that. You will not come back in. You did it once before. Let me sit soft because you threw a slider last time and got me out. Hands were extended. He knew it. Give a quick glance, drop the bat. Let him know I'm Aaron Judge, and I know where to hit the ball, and I know where to go deep for sure.
So 2 home runs last night. Now gives him 6 on the young season. Just like that, the captain tied for the American League lead. So it has to be sweeter. And I tell you what we found here, Todd.
What's
we
that?
found a moment where maybe you had a little extra motivation after a pitcher maybe brushed you off the plate. Let's look back. You're in the Yankee Road Gray as well against one Trevor Bauer.
Yeah, I remember this too. I kind of said something after that. He hit me a couple times, loved Trevor, and then me and the catcher were yapping Perez. He understood what was going on. I said, you know what? Here comes a breaking ball, and I took him deep to right field. Just snuck over the wall. One of those where, again, I look back. Just one of those instances. It might have been a bad day. I don't exactly remember. Maybe I had a bad shaving day there, so I was a little more amped up. Maybe extra espresso, one of those things. I like Trevor, you know what I mean? He's a good man.
You were right.
Yeah, he got me going there a little bit. The jersey came out of me that day.
Speaking of getting going, Trent Grisham comes off the bench, has a pinch hit, big home run in the 5th inning. But then he ties the game with another home run in the 9th. And this is somewhat of a habit for Grisham. 5th time since the start of last season that Trent Grisham has hit a home run to either tie or give his team the lead in the 8th inning or later of a game. So what we're seeing here from the big sleep is maybe a big clutch gene?
A little surge here, too. And I think, yeah, we talk about the clutch gene. I want to go back and talk to you how hard it is to come off the bench knowing you're a starter. I know the hitting hasn't been there. The walks have been there, the on-base percentage. But coming off the bench, knowing you got to go in the cage, when you first come up, and not necessarily you're the starter, you know 4th, 5th, 6th inning, I got to get ready. Well, it was the 5th inning, had to come up big, got the opportunity. And again, that goes to show you how professional he is and how ready he is. He just looked like he was like, you know, another day at the park. Let me get my bat here. Let me throw my hand. Oh, homer, first of the year. Let me do it again. And he did.
Big sleep hits in silky smooth pajamas. That's what it looks like.
And we talked about nicknames. That's another good one.
Yeah, I love that one. Oh, my gosh. Well, tonight's Yankees lineup is brought to you by Toyota. 6 of the 9 hitters are right-handers, including the top 4 in Goldschmidt, Judge, Rosario, and Stanton. The first lefty is Trent Grisham, who has 6 multi-homer games since the start of last season, including last night. Only Cal Raleigh and Aaron Judge have more. So you see the Yankees facing Detmers. You have Ahmed Rosario hitting third here. This is the lineup that the Yankees like, facing left-handers. But we always heard, oh, Ben Rice is going to get his at-bats against lefties. Not in there to start second straight day against a left-hander. But now we're starting to hear how this could come to Aaron Boone's advantage. He mentioned this is lineup leverage for him, having Rice at his disposal.
Is this an ongoing thing that's going to happen here, too? So during the season, you know, some things happen for the good, some for the bad. It seems like this is for the good. If you're a starter, now all of a sudden, if you're Ben Rice, will he be thinking a little bit? I don't think so necessarily. If this happens a little too much, maybe. He's going to have to be ready by probably the second or third inning. After the first group gets their first at-bats, if he's not ready by the third inning, he's going to be in trouble. Necessarily, you're going to need these guys. I think all of them will get a shot. Ahmed Rosario getting in, batting third. Uncharted territories for him. He's confident. I know him. He plays well. He got bigger in stature, and he's making some big opportunities, and he's taking care of it.
And Paul Goldschmidt will be starting at first base in the leadoff spot here against the lefty Detmers. All season long here on Yes, we want to invite you viewers to show us the different ways you support the Bronx Bombers. Use the QR code on the screen with the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post pictures to social media that reflect your love for the Yankees. We might spotlight you in a future game. Pinstripe Pride is brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Well, in front of the camera, behind the camera, doesn't really matter for Meredith Marakovits. Coming up on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, she gives us the latest news and notes from the clubhouse. So keep it here on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by FanDuel. All customers get to choose their reward today on FanDuel. Use your reward on any home run bet and play your game. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Hey Yankees fans, I'm News 12 meteorologist Hope Aselka with your game day forecast, and the Yankees are right at home here in the Bronx. Here's how it's looking at first pitch. It's bright and warm, temperatures in the upper 70s, near 80 degrees. By the 7th inning, clouds start to pick up. The winds are light in the mid 70s, and by the end of the game, there's a chance for an isolated shower or thunderstorm, so you definitely want to keep a very close eye on the forecast. So what's your moodcast? How does this weather make you feel? Let us know at News 12 The Bronx. Enjoy the game. Back to you.
Hope, thanks so much. Let's head out to the stadium as Meredith Marakovits joins us for the Ford Clubhouse Report. Meredith is back after her one-day internship as a camera operator at Yankee Stadium. Meredith, a fantastic, exciting night in the Bronx last night. I imagine the vibes were still flying high once that clubhouse opened this afternoon.
No doubt about it. A lot of action in the way of the home run last night. You look at the Yankees in particular, 5 total. Aaron Judge, of course, with 2. Trent Grisham with 2. A pinch hit one in that 5th inning, plating 3, and then the one in the 9th to tie things up. It just seems like he has had a knack for hitting those big-time home runs in big moments. But earlier in the game, it was Jose Caballero that hit a home run. He then, in that 9th inning, stole third base, eventually crossed home plate on the wild pitch to give the Yankees the 11-10 walk-off win. Now, we saw in that one, too, Judge and Trout, 2 3-time MVP award winners going blow for blow via the long ball, and it was exciting for fans to watch, but also exciting for his teammates to watch. I spoke to the active home run leader right now in Giancarlo Stanton in that clubhouse and asked him about the display that the 2 of those guys put on, and he said, look, it's a game in mid-April, just one of 162, but in a lot of ways it felt like a historic game watching those guys go back and forth with home runs. Earlier for the lineup show, I spoke to Cody Bellinger and I asked him about watching both Aaron Judge and Mike Trout continue to put on a show.
Oh, I definitely appreciated that. Both 3-time MVPs. I mean, not many people in this game have 3 of them. So the fact that 2 of them right now are on the same field and just 2 insane talents. And I mean, I think all 4 of those home runs were hit over 110 plus, and just you know, grown men hitting baseballs right there.
Hey, they have 3, but please don't sell yourself short. There were a total of 9 MVPs on the field last night. You, Giancarlo Stanton, Paul Goldschmidt, and then, of course, the 3 from each of those guys. How do you wrap your head around that amount of talent and that amount of power on one field?
Yeah, it really was. We talked about that a little pregame, and And honestly, just kind of joking around, I think Judgy ended up passing Goldie there on the home run list. So it was funny. It was kind of getting brought up before that, and then he goes out and hits 2. And there's both, even Goldie, just so many homers, and Big G, of course, leading the league. So it's just fun to be a part of it.
Hey, nothing wrong with a little friendly competition among teammates. I also asked Giancarlo Stanton if he continues to let everyone know that he's the guy in the lead right now, and he just looked at me and said, they are catching up. Mine keep hitting the wall, theirs keep going out. I need to do a little better. But hey, I feel bad for some of the walls because he has left some dents over the last week. Now, as far as Paul Goldschmidt is concerned, he is in the Yankees lineup against a lefty for the second consecutive game. I asked Aaron Boone earlier today, what's the thought process when he makes the decision whether or not he should go with Paul Goldschmidt or Ben Rice in the starting lineup against lefties?
So my plan going into this series was to have Ben play today. But I've just been able to so aggressively use Benny. Like, even though he's not in the starting lineup, like, I view him like playing a major. In the last 2 games that he sat against a lefty, he's gotten 5 at-bats, a homer, walk, single. Like, I've been able to kind of fire him at the most important part, and it might be early in the game. So, he is going to play against lefties, and we're in a unique spot to where, Goldie is obviously, his superpower at this point in his career is he's really great against left-handed pitching and is, been outstanding so far to start the year. And I'm not ready to catch Benny yet. I would put him in a game, but I'm, not ready to go 5, 7, whatever innings with him yet. So, so just, and also just early in the season here, trying to keep our bench in play. And because Goldie brings such a powerful presence, at the top of the order against lefties, I just want to keep that going as well. But again, having the ability to, cherry pick when I fire Benny Rice in a big spot, I like that.
And Ben Rice has had some success as a pinch hitter so far this season. 4 for 16 with a homer and 5 walks. Todd, I heard you talking about when you would get ready, when you were coming off the bench during a game. Cody Bellinger told me he takes 1 inning off and then he is locked in looking at matchups, wondering when he might get that opportunity. You imagine Ben Rice is probably pretty similar. Now, the offense stole the show yesterday. One thing that is worth noting, rough night for the bullpen. Jake Bird in particular got touched up a little bit. The Yankees needed a fresh arm, so Bird was optioned back to AAA, and they brought up Yeri De Los Santos. Aaron Boone said earlier today, more a matter of needing a fresh arm instead of Jake Bird, and that little bit of a struggle. They do believe he is going to play a role on this roster throughout the course of the season, but a little bit of tough luck for Bird, who was the guy who was available with options to be sent down, so something to keep an eye on there. They did really like Yeri De Los Santos throughout spring training. In fact, he almost made the team out of spring training, but ultimately the Yankees went another direction. It's time now for the injury report, brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, and we've been telling you that Anthony Volpe was close. Well, tonight it becomes official. He starts his rehab assignment with the Somerset Patriots. There's not a set number of games that he's going to play. It's going to be determined a lot based on how he feels, really building him up in the field more than anything, but it starts for Volpe tonight, and he said the other day, look, I've never been more excited to play, and there he is in the Patriots uniform. He also said his parents are really happy. He actually they live not too far from there, but he just can't wait to get back to the major leagues. Also, in speaking to him in the clubhouse in Tampa at Tropicana Field, he said now it doesn't feel like he's rehabbing anymore. It more feels like he's going through a spring training. His body is okay. He's passed all the hurdles that he's need to, made all the checks. He said he used to get into the batter's box and wonder if his shoulder was going to kind of fall out. Now he doesn't think about that at all. He feels healthy, he feels strong, and he is ready to make his contributions eventually at the major league level. But as we know, it is a process. He's going to need a bunch of games down in the minors until he is ready to do so.
Meredith, thanks so much. We look forward to seeing you a little bit later on tonight with Michael and Paul. Let's step aside here on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Coming up, we'll break down what to expect from Ryan Weathers tonight. He's coming off 8 innings of 1-run ball last outing, and he'll again take aim at his first win in pinstripes. That's next. Stick around.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by your local tri-state Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com.
It's time for the pregame odds segment presented by FanDuel. For a same-game parlay, let's take the Yankees money line. Paul Goldschmidt to get a hit, Aaron Judge to hit a dinger, and Ryan Weathers to strike out 5 or more. That comes in at plus 462. Yankees fans, every Tuesday, FanDuel is inviting you to choose the reward you want to use on any home run bet all MLB season long. Claim your profit boost or bet reset now, and it's ready to use instantly. Download the Sportsbook app now to play your game on FanDuel.
Well, we're back with the key matchup brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the Yankees, and Mike Trout continues to dominate at Yankee Stadium, a .345 hitter in 31 career games in the Bronx. He puts on a show whenever he's healthy, and in this Angels lineup, 10 career homers against the Yankees at the stadium, including 2 last night. Well, the Angels lineup is brought to you by Toyota, and Trout will be right back into that number 2 spot, right behind leadoff hitter Zach Neto, Joe Adell, Jorge Soler. Pretty big threats right in the meat of the order. Logan O'Hoppe, the Long Island native, doing the catching. Old friend Oswald Peraza playing second base and batting 8th for the Angels. They're going to be going up against Ryan Weathers, so lefty-on-lefty pitching matchup. Todd, Weathers was terrific against the A's last week. 8 innings of 1-run balls, 7 strikeouts. What jumped out to you in Weathers' outing at the Bronx?
Well, it was a 2-seam fastball, and he threw a lot of these away to left-handers. You think you'd want to come in for the most part. And don't get me wrong, he's got zip on that fastball. He stayed away from the 4-seamer, didn't throw that too often. And as you see, he has that changeup and that sweeper to boot. He's a really good pitcher. He's confident. And when he's out there and he's not trying to do too much, he's going to be really, really good, as we saw. 8 innings of shutout baseball. This guy knows what he's doing. He's built for New York. His dad was a really good pitcher, and I think he breeds that kind of outing.
So you talk about not doing too much. We've heard Aaron Boone say Ryan Weathers has the type of stuff that if he just trusts it, it'll take care of itself. What is the key for a pitcher like Weathers to produce consistently?
Well, I mean, first off, New York will do that too. You're playing in the Bronx, and understandably, you're going to be hyped up every time you play, especially in New York. I think if he can control his emotion, make his mindset slow down a little bit, and understand that he is a really, really good pitcher, he's going to be great. And I think the biggest thing for him is knowing that the Yankees are hitting right now. He can calm down, control that, go after him with that 2-seamer, mix up the changeup and sweeper. He's going to be fine.
And the Yankees could use similar length from Weathers tonight. Will Warren got an early hook last night. The Yankee bullpen gave up 6 runs on 9 hits in 5 1/3 as we take a look at the bullpen budget. What are you seeing from some of the Yankee relievers right now?
Well, I think it's a little bit of frustration. I mean, right now, Cruz, the splitter, he's not finding it for strikes. And when he's not finding that for strikes, the fastball's not there either. The slider hangs. I think it's ultimately everybody trying to step up. Brent Hedrick has been doing fine. Tim Hill's been doing great. Blackburn needs to figure it out. And Duvall is one of those guys where you want to be the 7th, 8th inning guy. You got to step up a little bit and find the ways to get guys out. And Bednar, hit or miss here right now, but I think he's going to be okay ultimately.
All right, time for one last break on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. But up next, Todd gives us his key to the game. Keep it right here on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com.
Well, we're just about set to go for first pitch at Yankee Stadium between the Yankees and the Angels. Todd, let's get to your key to the game.
Well, we talked about him before, Weathers or not. Are we going to get that Weathers that we saw the other day, how good he really is? Great left-handed pitcher. He's set for this. I mean, listen, he's playing at Yankee Stadium. He's born into it. It's in his blood. That fastball is going to have to work really good to the left-handed hitters today. 2-seam action, get some movement, and then the equalizer with the changeup and sweeper. I think the Yankees are going to hit. They're right-handed heavy, and the lefty's going to come up big today.
Speaking of right-handed heavy, you have 2 righty batters who've done damage against lefties so far this season. Goldschmidt leading off. Rosario's hitting third. They're sandwiching Aaron Judge tonight. Good protection for the captain.
If I was to tell you Ahmed Rosario is going to hit third and back up the captain, you'd be looking at me with bewildered eyes and confused. I think this is fantastic. Put some guys in some situations situations where they're not necessarily supposed to be or not necessarily in the comfort zone. This guy, Ahmed Rosario, he's fantastic of a person. He's there. He cheers the team on. Put him in a spot, you never know what can happen. It could be an absolute joy to watch him play against left-handed hitters. Randall Grichuk really hasn't done it yet. Hoping for a big game from him. Put Rosie in there, let him do his job, and let him have a lot of fun today.
First time since September 27th of 2023, the first 4 hitters in the Yankee lineup are all right-handed. That's going to do it for us on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Coming up, we will send you out to the Bronx. It's Michael Kay and Paul O'Neill on the call. Meredith Marakovitz reporting. Todd and I are going to see you later on for the postgame. Yankees looking to start the homestand with back-to-back wins. Enjoy the game right here on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Another gorgeous day here in New York City, and a perfect day for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the Yankees against the Angels in Game 2 of a 4-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. I'm with Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. What an exciting game yesterday. Yankees had leads. They blew leads. Same thing with the Angels. And when you look up at the end, the Yankees had an 11-10 victory, snapping a 5-game losing streak. And a big reason why they were able to win that game, a guy came off the bench and delivered, Trent Grisham.
Trent Grisham had some kind of day. Come into the ballpark, you think, I've got the day off. I don't have much to do with this game. But before the night was over, Trent Grisham was the game for the New York Yankees. In the 5th inning, put them up by 3, a huge pinch hit home run. And then in the 9th, down by 2, another huge home run. A big night for Grisham. And believe me, the Yankees wouldn't have won without him last night.
All right, the out front numbers before those home runs, not great, but we go under the hood, all right? Take a look at what he was doing this season. Hard hit percentage, 98th percentile. Squared up percentage, 94th. He doesn't chase out of the strike zone, and he walks a lot. Well, it was a heavyweight fight at the stadium yesterday. Not Schmeling Lewis, no. Not Norton Ali, no. It was Trout and Judge. Haymakers, one after the other, putting on a show why they're Hall of Famers. Meredith Marakovitz has more next.
It is a beautiful night in the Bronx for some Yankees baseball. Game 2 of the 4-game series between the Yankees and the Angels is set to get underway in just a little bit. Hey everyone, I'm Meredith Marakovitz. Last night's walk-off win had a little bit of everything, including a battle between 2 3-time MVPs in Aaron Judge and Mike Trout. Both of those guys hit 2 home runs apiece, and it was a display of power that did not go unnoticed.
It's awesome. 2 of the best in the game going at it, and you see the performance that they did today. It's amazing to be on the field, to play against guys like these 2 guys.
That's baseball for you. It's what fans want, and to be able to see something like that, it's pretty cool.
He's the greatest. He's the greatest of all time, man. It's been fun to watch his whole career. Coming up at such a young age, and instantly just putting yourself at the top of the list. It's special. He's led those boys over there for quite a few years, and just to see him day in and day out show up. I know he's had some tough injuries over the years, but to see himself put himself back in a better spot this year, and every time he comes to the Bronx, man, he puts on a show. I hate to see it, but it's fun competing against a guy like that.
Did it feel like it was Judge versus Trout throughout a lot of this one?
Yeah, I mean, that, I'm sure you guys probably promoted that, and that part of it certainly delivered.
They delivered indeed. Both Trout and Judge are in tonight's lineup. We'll see what they have in store. For now, we're going to take a quick step aside. When we get back, that man, Ryan Weathers, gets the ball. Baseball next, right here on Yes.
The Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Live on NY. Life. Pass it on. by Tunnel to Towers. Donate $11 a month and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org. And by Hyundai, test drive a new Hyundai today, only at your local Hyundai dealer. It feels like summer. It is a beautiful day again in New York City. Yankees try to make it 2 in a row. They take the field here at the stadium for game 2 of this 4-game set. Ryan Weathers on the mound for the Yanks. This is the lineup that he's going to face. Neto leads off, then Mike Trout, who had 2 home runs yesterday. Now has 408 career home runs. He'll bat second. Joe Adell in right field. Middle third of the order, Soler, Grisham, and O'Hoppe. And then the bottom third, Moncada, former Yankee Oswald Peraza, and Bryce Teodosio is going to be in left field, and he's going to bat ninth. And they will face the Yankees' young left-hander, Ryan Weathers. This will be his 4th start, coming off a really good one. Let's check out the Nissan Pitchers Scouting Report.
Well, I gave you a cookie here tonight, Michael. It's a group, all right? Getting better. He was really good his last start. The A's on Thursday, 8 innings, 1 run, no walks, and 7 strikeouts. And help, I need somebody to score some runs. The Yankees have not scored a run for him all year. All 3 of his starts, and come together right now. Well, he's really changed his pitching. He's really using his sinker and his changeup much more. Let's see if that continues. That's a cookie.
Are you O'Neill or McCartney? I don't know what.
Well, you know what? I didn't have my piano, so I was a little out of tune. But I just figured I'd give you a cookie since you had a hard time.
It was an excellent cookie. Let's take a look at the folks, by the way. For the Yankees, brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Grichuk, Grisham, and Judge. Left, right in the outfield. Infield, McMahon, Caballero, Rosario, and Goldschmidt. And Wells behind the plate with Stanton, the DH. We told you all about the pitcher, Ryan Weathers. Angels scored a season-high 10 runs yesterday. Wasn't enough as the Yankees scored 11. Neto's ready. Weathers is ready. And let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch is a strike. We're underway.
Well, Michael, if you break down the at-bats last night from Anaheim, the LA Angels, they were tough on the Yankee pitchers. Let's see if they could get ahead and put hitters away, but they were not able to do last night.
Hard to put him away last night with the 2 home runs. 1-1 on Neto. 2-1. The 2-1. 3-1. Neto and Trout tied with Drake Baldwin of the Braves for the most runs in the majors. 16 runs scored. Fly ball. Judge. 1 out. All right, the home plate umpire is Ryan Wills. The umpire scouting report brought to you by your local Kia dealers. So he's had 7 calls challenged, 5 of them overturned. He's neutral, fewer high strikes, more low strikes, and Ryan in his 7th big league season. There's the rest of the umpiring crew. Crew chief is Lance Barksdale. He's at first. Trout with his 31st multi-home run game, most in Angels history. He's always hit well at Yankee Stadium. 345, 10 home runs, 22 RBIs, and 22 runs scored, and he slugged at .689 here.
Likes to play close to home. 31
games he's played here.
Well, you said, Michael, 31 times he's homered twice or more in a game. So, Judge did it last night. Let's check. Aaron Judge, 47 times. Way ahead of Mike Trout.
High fly ball. Deep left center, way up there. Grisham back, track, wall. Monster shot. A long solo home run for Trout, and the Angels are on the board. That was as high as it was deep.
It's amazing. Hitters get hot, but when great hitters get hot, Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, they're game changers. The ball doesn't stay in the ballpark. This ball off the bat I didn't want to give you a hint and like hit you on the leg, but Michael, that ball's gone. What a player. And we've been over time and time again. It's just he has not been able to stay healthy the last 3 or 4 years. Missed almost half of the Angels games, but the numbers he is putting up, I mean, you could close the book on the Hall of Fame right now.
Another blast into left center field, and that ball is gone off the back wall. Back to back for the Angels. They're up 2-0.
Well, folks, maybe it's going to be a slugfest again tonight. I mean, the Angels came out swinging. So Adele, I mean, that's his second home run of the year, but he's become a much better hitter. Has cut down his strikeouts, worked on his defense. He's got a chance to be a really good player.
So Weathers didn't give up a run in 8 innings against the Athletics, and 2 here in the first.
You know, there's an old saying, Michael, that solo homers don't beat you. It's the big ones. Well, you've given up a couple home runs, but, you know, 2 runs is obviously in the first innings not what you want, but not insurmountable.
Trout and Adele back to back. 1 man out. Deep drive, Grichuk back, track, wall, see ya, back to back to back, 3-0 LA. Wow.
Been a loud first inning here, Michael, and none of them are cheapies, that's for sure. Back to back to back. Trout, Adele, now Soler. Wow. You know, in golf, you get a mulligan. You know, I think Weathers might want a mulligan here in the first. 4-seam fastball to Mike Trout. That didn't hit the catcher's glove. That went a long way. Trout sitting out over the plate, it seems like, in this series so far, and he got that one. Aaron Judge is just kind of in amazement, thinking, I'll probably catch you here. Now, this is supposed to look like he tried to turn that over, but it ended up being kind of a straight fastball as well. Ended up in the same spot off the back wall of the bullpen. And yep, another one. And Soler, all fastballs.
There's Vaughn Grissom. And a strike. Reminds me of the Whitey Ford story. Yeah, a terrible first inning. People jumping on the first pitch. Casey Stengel came out, said to Yogi, "What kind of stuff is he have?" I haven't caught it yet.
I have no idea. Loud. He's got loud stuff. That's the pitch right there that made him so effective last Thursday against Oakland. But against the righties, he was able to get that changeup for a strike down and away.
Three and one. Yankee starters had allowed 3 home runs in the first 16 games this season. Ryan has allowed 3 home runs this inning. Three and two. Kind of a hush has fallen over the crowd. I think they're kind of stunned. I think Ryan Weathers is stunned.
Yeah, you know, all the fun that happened last night seemed to leave the ballpark here in the top of the first.
And a walk. Now the crowd getting restless.
I think that 3 home runs in a row will kind of scare your fastball out of the strike zone. It's just, Wells has got to make him, you know, pitch the way he's pitched and start to get that changeup away, especially to these right-handed hitters.
There's Logan O'Hoppe. Take a look at the Yankee bullpen budget brought to you by Citizens. Make sense of your money with Citizens. Bird was sent down yesterday after that outing, and Yerry De Los Santos replaces him, and that's who the Yankees used last night. So Doval probably not available. Right field, off the bat of O'Hoppe. Judge makes the play. 2 down.
And Michael asked Aaron Boone about that move, and he said more than anything it was to get a fresh arm up here because they were a little short even last night in the bullpen. They believe Bird is going to play a role throughout the course of this season, but wanted to bring Yerry De Los Santos up so they had an option, as you saw in that pitching graphic. Been a couple days since he's thrown, so he's a guy that could potentially give you more than 1 inning.
Here's Moncada. The worst thing you could have, Paul, is options. If you're a pitcher, especially a relief pitcher.
Yeah, if you could buy your way out of options, it would certainly help you, right?
Because that allows the team to make those moves just to keep a fresh arm in the bullpen. And you could be coming off a great performance, but if you've pitched 2 days in a row, you know good for them the next day.
And it's not like sending you down time and time again in the same year. It's not like you use an option every time you're sent down. I mean, if you got an option, it's
for the whole year.
Yep.
One and two. Swing and a miss, and that'll do it. But a stormy inning for Weathers, starting with Trout's home run. 3-0 Angels. Yankees coming to bat. Well, the Yankees haven't batted yet, and they're down 3-0 with 3 Angels solo home runs against Ryan Weathers. So let's take a look at the Yankee lineup that's going to try to make up that deficit. Goldschmidt, Judge, and Rosario. How about Rosario batting third? Middle third of the order, Stanton. Grisham had a big game yesterday, and Grichuk. And the bottom third, Wells, Caballero, and McMahon. And they're going to face the Angels lefty Reed Detmers. This will be his 4th start. 17 strikeouts in 15 2/3 innings. But, Paul, let's go deeper. Let's go under the hood. Let's check out the Nissan Pitcher Scouting Report.
All right, well, he's back at it after being in the bullpen all last year. He's again back in the starting rotation this year. Fastball slider really relies on those 2 pitches. Over 75% of his pitches, either the fastball or the slider. And more than 4. Both starters last night taken out in the 3rd inning. Very tough nights on both sides of the bullpens.
There's Paul Goldschmidt. Led off the first with a double last night.
You know, it's just breaking down this lineup, Michael, and because of the way the game was played last night. Rice got a night off. He was in for half the game. Grisham had a night off. He was in for half the game. So you're able to get them on, Goldschmidt another start. So you really didn't lose a day with any of your hitters. Bellinger's struggling a little bit. Going to give him a day off. Jazz looks like he's in home run mode, so, you can get Rosario in there at second. So kind of a makeshift lineup, but it makes a lot of sense because of what happened last night by everybody getting play.
And Boone said that he was planning to play Rice today. He said, but, since I got him in and he contributed in the 5th inning, and we could do that again. Just because you don't start doesn't mean that you won't have a big say in the game. That one is looped up the middle and caught by Peraza. Nice play by Peraza for out number 1. Let's check out the Angels defense brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. And we're going to take a look at Bryce Teodosio. He is our Car Shield defensive player profile. 11 outs above average last season. Tied for 9th among Major League outfielders. So he can go get it.
Yeah, he's a true center fielder, but with Mike Trout stepping back into center field, he's playing a corner position, but his speed is top stuff here in the American League.
Judge had a 1st inning home run last night, the 87th 1st inning home run he's hit. But he's still got some to go to catch Babe Ruth. 126 for Ruth. Next up on the list is Mantle with 103.
Well, we were
Judge
talking
is
about
third.
Mike Trout being the franchise for the Angels 31 times, twice in a game. Judge 47. He's second. Babe Ruth 68 times. Judge last night passed Mickey Mantle. He did 46 times.
Some pretty good names. And he's done it in really a lot fewer games than the other guys on that list. Judge takes a strike. 3-1. Three and two. Hit shortly. Oh, what a diving stop by Moncada. Gets to his feet and gets Judge. Took an extra base hit away. Full body backhand stab of a hard shot down the line.
Yeah, great play. And Moncada has not been good defensively. You remember the error he made last night, ball right at him, but just dives here, and it was hit so hard that he has plenty of time, even across the diamond, to get Aaron Judge.
So here is Ahmed Rosario. Not to stir up bad memories, but that must be the worst. Or when you hit a ball that hard and you're thinking, oh, that's a hit.
And especially early in the game, because you think you're getting off to a good start, and all of a sudden, you know, some guy out of nowhere makes a great play, and you're 0 for 1, just like you struck out.
Rosario's done a good job for the Yanks. Versatile, hitting .308, 2 home runs, all in one game. 6 runs batted in. That's why when the Yankees got Caballero and Rosario at the trade deadline last year, Boone was overjoyed. It gave balance to the bench, where he could take a righty bat off the bench against a lefty and feel really good about the production. Caballero could play everywhere. Rosario could play most infield positions if you need him. So 2 versatile guys. They're not like 2 guys on the bench, almost like 3. Tonight's bench has all left-handers: Rice, Grisham, Bellinger, and J.C. Escarra. 1-2. 2-2.
You know, you look years back where, you know, you had role players on the bench and they were bats or a speed guy, but now that position has become so important the way games are managed, because you want certain matchups. You want Rosario against lefties. You want guys that can play, you know, numerous positions. So that's a job in the major leagues now that's very important.
Right field, Adele is there, and that'll do it as the Yankees go down in order against Detmers. We played 1. It's 3-0 Angels. Play FanDuel's Daily Dinger for free every day for a chance at a profit boost if your selected player hits a home run. And here are the featured home run odds for today's players. Aaron Judge plus 230. Trent Grisham not playing right now, plus 440. And Peraza lines that one into left center, a base hit. Oh, Grisham's playing. It's Bellinger's not. My apologies. Because Grisham just got that ball in.
He snuck in on there, Michael.
Here's Teodosio. 26 years old, 3rd big league season. The guy can fly. He has a sprint speed of 29.8 feet per second. That's 11th in the majors. Yankees just dealt with Chandler Simpson and didn't deal with him well.
Yeah, I mean, speed, you don't see guys that much that are just all speed, and it creates so many problems defensively.
Grisham back, still back, makes the play. That traveled a lot farther than he thought it would. 1 down.
Yeah, I can tell right now that he thought off the bat it was an easy play. It didn't have the sound like he hit it very good, but then all of a sudden your heart starts pounding. You know it's well over your head, and he took his eye off the ball to get there and was able to make a good play. But right there you realize, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. So you just fall out, sprint, and then pick up the ball again. Good solid play.
Almost popped out of the glove. Back to the top of the order, and Zach Neto. 0-1. And 2 on the Angels shortstop. Angels 8-9, and the Yankees 9-7.
I talked last night, Michael, about Weathers. Obviously, I played with his father, David Weathers. So they're one of five father-sons to play for the Yankees. Clay and Cody Bellinger, Mark Leiter and Jr. and Sr., Ron Davis and Ike Davis, and Yogi Berra and Dale Berra. You knew all those, right?
I did.
I don't remember Ike Davis.
He was here for a short period of time. Most of the time, you know, from the Mets.
Right.
But he was here in 2016.
This was the at-bats that you saw the wear down the Yankees last night. Just ahead in the count, can't put guys away, continually fouling the balls off, making long counts, and a lot of stress for the pitcher.
And down goes Neto.
He's got 2 off-speed pitches that he really found against Oakland last Thursday. This is a slider. This ball will come down and in to a righty off-speed, and then he's really been working on the changeup. Same kind of speed, but going the other way, down and away. So if he gets both of those working, that's a lot to cover for a hitter.
Here's Trout. Oh, and 1.
These are the nights that you kind of check up the lineup card and think, are they cheating? Doesn't that seem like he hits like every other batter? Or he's on deck, one of the two.
It must be so much fun for him to be healthy. I mean, some years just wasted completely.
He is such a nice guy, too. I was on the field, and I went over and talked to him. I said, it's so good to see you healthy. He couldn't just, thanks. He was so good today at taking batting practice and then walking back to the back of the, where the fans and the kids signing autographs, going back. A lot of guys won't take time out of BP. I mean, this is just his typical thing. Really compact, unbelievably strong, built like a football player. And it's just, he's been like that since he broke into the major leagues. He represents the Angels well. It's pretty much what I'm trying to get to, Mike.
We told you yesterday, 3 MVPs. He finished second, first, fourth, second, first, fifth in consecutive years. So one of the best players in baseball. And then he started to get hurt. Grounded foul. He's in the 8th season of a 12-year, $428 million extension. That'll cover him through 2030. And he is never asked out. You see some players that the team's not going well, they ask to be traded. They want to chase a ring and try to join a ready-made team. Trout has never asked the owner, Artie Moreno, to trade him.
Yeah, you had those high expectations, obviously, when Ohtani was there for 6 years, and it just didn't, it kind of fizzled out. And obviously, Ohtani ended up across the city over in Dodger Stadium.
And Trout, as great as he is, kind of toiling in anonymity. They have not been in the playoffs since 2014. There's only one professional sports franchise that has had a longer drought. I'm sorry, some of our listeners have to cover their ears. That's the New York Jets, 2010. And now with 3 wild cards, that's hard.
You might slip and beat a couple people, right?
By accident.
Either you're playing for the playoffs or you're playing for the first draft pick, right?
Really making Weathers work.
So, Michael, I didn't grow up here, but, I have kind of noticed Yankee fans, Mets fans, there's no in between. There's no gray area. You want, are the Jets and the Giants exactly? Are they divided exactly the way? Yeah. So there's no I like them both. No, that doesn't work.
A little fraudulent if you do, but there's some.
That's from a true Bronx kid right there.
All the way to the backstop as Peraza jogs to second.
This sounded like it got him, but no.
He doesn't want to go to first.
Not the way you're swinging it, right?
You and Trout have something in common. He opened Trout National Golf Club this fall in Vinland, New Jersey, and that course was designed by Tiger Woods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been in the making for the past couple of years, and from what I understand, I have not seen it. Pretty high expectations on what type of course it is. It's not a public one, believe me.
He said, I hope it's one of the top golf courses in the world. I'm just trying to bring the noise to South Jersey. And Trout became obsessed with golf in 2020 when baseball wasn't being played. He said he played 36 holes a day.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, what an at bat.
The only thing, I've fallen in love with golf also. But the only thing I don't like about golf is there's something wrong every day, obviously. But there's no foul balls. You get a bad swing, a foul ball, you're still in the bad swing in golf. You're picking another ball out of the bag because it's in the woods.
Well, I'm not familiar with the game, but isn't there a thing called the mulligan?
Well, yeah, they didn't show up at the Masters this year.
Another foul ball. Keith Johnson, third base coach, had to get out of the way. The 12th pitch of the at-bat coming up. The old pitch sequence that looks like a CBS receipt. The whole kitchen sink right there, Paul.
Yeah, you got to start shaking your head if you're Weathers. What do you want? Good pitch there.
So Weathers wins that long battle. No runs a hit. One man left. We go to the bottom of the second. 3-0 Angels.
Welcome back. I know Paul O'Neill was up all night tossing and turning, wondering why Giancarlo Stanton is wearing a red belt. Well, I walked up to him at his locker today to ask him if there was any significance, and he said it's been something that he's wanted to do for a while. Many people don't know that red is actually an official part of the Yankees color palette, although it's not currently used on field in their uniform. But along with midnight navy, white, and gray, it is part of that palette, and it first became a permanent part of the Yankees' identity in 1947 when they introduced the top hat logo. You saw it in the Yankee script in that logo, elements of the hat and the bat. And then in 1996, guys, Spike Lee wanted a red interlocking NY hat to match his World Series jacket. At the time, only on-field gear was produced, so New Era had to go to George M. Steinbrenner and ask him permission to produce the one-off, which he agreed, so the boss gave him the green light. The red hat was born, and since then, hats aren't just for baseball players, they're for fashion as well. Who knew a belt could yield revealed such a story.
Well, now, because he's a very good dresser, Meredith, he's going with a red pair of spikes, too.
And
he didn't have those yesterday.
He has worn those in the past, but not with the belt. But he said it's been something he's thinking about. So he's out there. He's doing it. Let him live, Michael. Let him live.
Let everybody live. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, your shoes have to match your belt. Well, that's just the way it is, right?
And you know what? Spike Lee was here last night, and I thought he has all red on, and the Angels are in town, and I couldn't figure it out. But now it all makes sense, knowing that he was the guy that started the red Yankees hat back in 1996.
The 2-2. And that one's tipped into the glove of O'Hoppe. Stanton strikes out. This was Spike yesterday, sitting next to Billy Crystal. I might be biased, Paul. I think the Top Hat logo is one of the great logos in all of sports.
I really miss it, to tell you the truth. Right when I got here in New York, people used to wear those in the stands, and I thought it was so cool.
In fact, now I'm going to go really inside TV. We have an interstitial with the Top Hat logo. You know, that the swipe that you see from a replay?
Yeah.
We'll let them play with it and show you.
So you throw those things out in the second inning, you got plenty of time to get it in.
Yeah, there it is. All right, enough.
Oh, wait, we got all night now. That thing's coming. Every time you say it, it's coming up again.
0-2 on Grisham. One and 2. And Grisham down on strikes.
Well, we talked about Detmers, and you know, in the bullpen last year, he really became a two-pitch pitcher, and that was the fastball and this breaking ball. Well, pretty hard, but very tough to pick up. You see, not a lot of side spin, just enough to fool you and get away from the barrel of the bat from the lefty.
Grichuk with a high fly ball, shallow right. Adele makes the play. Another 1-2-3 inning, and the great Top Hat logo takes us to the third. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Delta, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Delta, keep climbing. Now we go to the third inning. It'll be Joe Adele, Jorge Soler, and Von Grissom. Adele with a home run in the first inning. 3 home runs in the first inning. All in a row. Trout, Adele, and Soler. Ground ball to third. McMahon. One down.
That's a good sign right there. Getting Adele out. He's been swinging the bat really well.
All right, let's take a look at pitching decisions presented by Sage. We talked about those 3 home runs, Paul.
Well, I mean, last night it was a slugfest, and it started out that way today in the first inning. All fastballs, all down in the strike zone, and all ends up in the bleachers.
Here is Soler. Soler, 17 RBIs, lead the American League. He's 18, actually, at the home run, so that leads the American League. Presently appealing a 7-game suspension that he got for charging Reynaldo Lopez last Tuesday.
It's a big inning for Weathers. You know, you give up 3, then you get it through the second, and now you're going through Adele, who he got out on the first pitch, and Soler, who's been extremely hot as well. You get through this inning as the players behind you start to think, all right, now we've settled things down. Now it's time for us to try to get back in this game.
2-2 on Soler. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball. Soler down on strikes. 4th strikeout for Weathers.
Again, not his best breaking ball, but because of the speed and how he, used it in the sequence, kind of almost dropped down there. See that side spin, kind of hung up there, but was able to get a swing and a miss.
Grissom to right field, right down the line. Just missed the foul pole. Foul ball.
Wow, we had a bad angle for that one, Michael. That looked really close and obviously foul. Boy, that'd have been a heartbreaker right there. You get 2 quick outs and then somebody hits the pole on you.
That was close. And Suzuki said, could you guys talk about that? Take a
look. This is a crew chief review of the call of foul ball.
Yeah, this is a tough angle because the ball, you can't tell what side of the pole what goes on. Aaron Judge says it's foul. I'm going to believe him, all right?
Yeah, I thought it crossed in front of the pole, not behind it. First-year manager, Kurt Suzuki, 42 years old, signed a 1-year deal. Not exactly an overwhelming vote of confidence, but he wanted an opportunity. Won a championship as a player in 2019 with the Nationals, and he was a special advisor to the GM from 2023 to 2025 with the Angels.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed as a foul ball.
No harm, no foul. You don't waste a challenge. You can ask for an umpire review if you think it's close.
Boy, if you're Grissom at the plate, Michael, you think you have a home run, then they call the foul, then they can review it. So you're sitting there just simmering at home plate, thinking maybe it's not going out right around the pole.
Foul ball. Yankees snapped their 5-game losing streak last night with an 11-10 victory.
I think I read today, Michael, that was the most runs, both teams, most runs they gave up and most runs they scored. It was just an absolute slugfest last night. You said it in the pregame, throwing haymakers at each other. Huh?
Fun game. It's more fun for the Yankees because they won.
I, on the way home last night, was just thinking, that was a great win. But if you go home with a loss after how many big hits and home runs you had last night, that'd have been a different story.
Strikeout number 5. 1-2-3 inning for Weathers. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Time for Pinstripe Pride, brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Tonight's pitcher is a Madeline from Rochester, New York, who attended her first Yankees game with her parents last night. Madeline, you saw a good one, man. They're not all like that. Hope you enjoyed from what you understood. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and mention yes in pictures you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game. 6 up, 6 down over the first 2 innings for the Yankees, so it'll be Wells, Caballero, and McMahon against Reed Detmers. Ground ball, first base. 1 away on 1 pitch. So you mentioned the 11 runs the Yankees scored last night, Paul. In the previous 4 games, combined they scored 11 runs.
Yeah, when you go through losing streaks like they did, they came back from St. Petersburg losing 5 in a row. When you start breaking down the numbers, obviously something has changed. Either your pitching blew up, which it really didn't, or the offense just forgot to show up. And that's really what happened during those 5 games.
There's a strike to Caballero. Now, Caballero's had 4 hits in his last 3 games. And his first 12 games, he was 5 for 40. So the worm can turn.
And Michael, one of those hits came in the 9th after Grisham's 2-run shot. He doubled, then stole third, eventually scoring on the wild pitch, giving the Yankees the win. He also hit a 2-run home run in the 2nd inning that gave the Yankees at the time a 4-0 lead. After the game, he was asked, what are you more proud of, that stolen base and scoring on the wild pitch or the home run? He looked, he smiled, and he said, stealing bases, that's what I do. It's the home run, obviously.
There's one thing he also did that, I mean, you know if a player's sharp. He scores the winning run on the wild pitch, and McMahon starts to celebrate. And he said to McMahon, you got to go touch first base. Before he would ever celebrate, he said, you got to go complete the play. So he was on top of the game as he strikes out there. 2 down.
Well, not picking this ball up. Obviously, a breaking ball way out in front of home plate. That just shows you a little anxiousness at the plate.
You know, the Yankees will take the win whichever way they can get it on the wild pitch, but it was set up for McMahon to feel really good about himself.
Yeah.
Now, he did work a walk, but I think every Yankee would have liked to have seen him drive the ball or get a base hit and have that sort of walk-off. But as I said, you take any win you could get.
Yeah, when you've lost 5 in a row, you'll take it away you can get it. But, you know, you say every Yankee, and that does include McMahon wanting to get that big hit.
Two.
See, Detmer's at 96 there last year. I mean, he popped all the way up to 97, 98 in the bullpen. He's gradually come down as a starter somewhat, but throwing much harder than he did a couple years ago.
There's a ground ball grab by Moncada, but he couldn't get his footing to make the throw, so that's a base hit. Yankees' first base runner of the game.
So you can't say it enough, Michael. You put the ball in play, you have a chance. I mean, when you strike out, you walk to the dugout. This ball was in a kind of an emergency swing. Just grounded it to the left side, but because of the shift, no play.
Paul Goldschmidt takes a strike from Detmers. You know, Detmers has a really simple mantra when he's on the mound. He says, attack, command all my pitches, and get the fastball down.
And that sounds easy. That's everybody's, you know, want as a pitcher. But, you know, he's only trying to control a few pitches. You know, we went over in the scouting report, 75% of his pitches are the fastball, the breaking ball. So it's not like he needs to work on 4 or 5 different pitches, locating them all.
Then you look at the Yankees, Max Fried, you know, he's got 7 pitches that he could choose from. Grounded. Moncada gets another try. Goes the short way, and that'll do it. No runs to hit. 1 man left. We go to the 4th. Time for tonight's injury report, brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Anthony Volpe began his rehab assignment with with the Double-A Somerset tonight. 0 for 2. Struck out both times in 5 innings of play. He's expected to play 4 games this week. They'd like to get him maybe 55 at-bats, which would be what you get in the spring training. Cadillac scoreboard, 3-0 Angels as we go to the 4th inning. Now, Meredith, you spoke to Volpe in depth about what he wants to do with his rehab, right?
Well, Michael, he was at Tropicana Field, and he said he has never been more excited to play baseball again. It has been killing him not being able to be out on that field. But for him, it doesn't feel like a rehab assignment. It feels more like getting ready in the way of spring training. He said early on he wasn't sure how his body was going to respond. He'd step in the batter's box and not know if his shoulder was going to feel like it was going to fall out. He also didn't know what to expect when diving at shortstop. He said he already crossed all those hurdles. He's confident that he's going to be okay. He feels strong and he's in a good place. So right now it's just about getting some reps out there and building himself up in the field to come back here to the major league level.
He probably can't wait. Oh. Hoppy with a fly ball to center. 1 down.
It's amazing when you're playing, Michael. You go through tough times and, you lose your confidence. And you just don't see good things happening. And when you're injured and you're sitting on the bench, you remember everything that's good. And that's what you miss about the game. Being with the guys, getting the big hit, making the great plays. That's what you don't remember the strikeouts until game 1. You strike out your first time up. You're like, oh, here I'm back on the field, I guess.
You got to feel for him a little bit, Paul, because you figure first rehab game, Double-A. You got a little bit of soft landing. You know who the pitcher was? Zach Wheeler.
Yeah. I did see that.
Who's coming back from thoracic outlet syndrome surgery. He went 5 innings, 3 hits. He struck out 8. So he had a brand name pitcher.
You know what? If you think about it, though, you would rather face Wheeler than some guy in Double-A that has no clue where the ball's going.
Right.
It's much more comfortable facing a guy who's been in the major leagues for a long time.
Wheeler's a little bit of an interesting case because when healthy, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. There's no denying that. So he has, I think, a couple years left on his contract, and there's talk, you want an extension? He goes, no, I'm done.
That's it?
That's it. He said, when the contract's up, I'm done. I've done it enough.
Right. Well, sometimes you make your mind up, Michael, and you got to stick with it.
Yeah, guy on my right did that.
Well, last year you said guy on my left, but
yeah,
you really got to watch what you say now.
Strikeout number 6. 6 Yankee strikeout brought to you by your local Tri-State Audi dealers.
Well, if you look at the strikeouts, they've all been off-speed pitches. Angels hunting that fastball. The 3 fastballs that were hit out in the first inning, and now the strikeouts have all been change-ups and breaking balls.
Peraza had a single in the 2nd inning. Oswald played 145 games with the Yankees, and he hit 190. And he could field with anybody. And now he crushes that one to left field. And Grichuk turns and watches it go into the seats. A home run for Peraza, and it is 4-0 Angels.
This is what I saw Peraza doing with the Yankees. Right when he showed up, I was like, this guy is going to do big things. And he just kind of fizzled and never really got it going. It's much more comfortable with the Angels uniform, swinging the bat, get an opportunity to play a little bit. This is a changeup. You see not a lot of movement down, just kind of sits right there. It's hammered.
Teodosio fouls it away. 1-2.
Again, the ball kind of sits up there. Peraza always had a good, quick bat when he made contact. It just never got it going with the Yankees.
I always could tell he frustrated you because you saw something there and it never really happened.
Yeah, and it's from day one. I thought, I'm telling you, I think I saw this guy could be a 30-30 guy. Runs well. You don't have to worry about his defense. It was solid, and you could just see the ball jump off his bat. And then all of a sudden, the numbers did not match what you thought you saw coming from the major leagues.
MLB Plus is new for 2026. Stream MLB Network 24/7 and select out-of-market games every week, plus live radio broadcasts of every game, Game Day 3D, Big Inning, and minor league action. Visit MLB.com/MLB Plus to subscribe today. So kind of an odd 4 innings for Weathers, 7 strikeouts, but a career high 4 home runs. And Paul said earlier, you live with solo home runs, but you don't live with 4 of them.
Solo home runs are solo, meaning maybe 1 or 2. But yeah, when you start getting 4 or 5, that's not good.
Yankees have just 1 hit. McMahon's infield single with 2 outs in the 3rd. In fact, that's the only base runner against Detmers. Fouled away. Rosario on deck. And the pitch. 3-2. Judge robbed of an extra base hit in the 1st inning. Diving stop toward the line by Moncada. The lefty deals. Strike 3. Judge looked like he wanted to challenge, decided not to. He's only challenged twice all year.
That's a breaking ball. You might give up on it. Does it hit the top of the box? Yes, it does. It's just you're not, as a hitter, not thinking that, that ball is not called a lot.
It is now.
And Aaron Judge obviously wise not to challenge it because it looked like it caught the top of the strike zone.
From the first game that we did, Paul, David Cone has been espousing that if you're a pitcher, you work the top of the zone. That never used to be called a strike. Hitters don't swing at that, and you will get a lot of outs that way. He said that from game 1.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, Coney is very good at breaking down tendencies and what hitters do. And you're right, when you're taught not to swing at that pitch because you really can't do much with it.
Base hit there for Rosario.
You were always taught to cover the ball down and away because that's the pitch pitchers wanted to throw. So the high strike was not called. Rosario continues to beat up left-handed pitching. A really quick bat. It really just fires those hips and it gets that bat head out with it.
Here's Giancarlo Stanton. Yankees 1 big swing from cutting the lead in half. 4-0 Angels. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Runner on first, 1 out. Stanton struck out in the 2nd inning. Let's check out one of tonight's player props brought to you by Bet365, where winning is everything. Stanton to hit 1 or more home runs, plus 380. He hasn't had a home run in a while. Has 1 for the season, but he's hit the ball hard.
That line drive off the top of the wall, dead center field yesterday, that was not a fly ball, just a line drive.
Fouled away.
95, but that beat Carlos Stanton. John Carlos Stanton didn't quite get the bat head out. Fouled it off the other way.
Did not go. I don't think he went.
No.
And Stanton goes down on strikes for the second time. Fifth strikeout for Detmers.
A good changeup. Again, the changeup's all where it does at the end, and you just see it kind of take off down under the barrel of the bat.
Foul ball. Cooking up something special with Hexclad. Join the hybrid revolution at hexclad.com. 2 home runs after entering as a pinch hitter. Yankees all time. Bye-bye Balboni. Raul Ibanez did it twice.
Steve Balboni, he was a big dude, huh?
Never really got the run with the Yankees that you thought he would, but he did with the Royals. Ended up winning a championship.
Well, half of his home runs, I think, were in Columbus, Ohio, when he was on the shuttle with the Yankees. Every once in a while, Michael, when you get ready for the major leagues, you're all set, and all of a sudden, there's something in front of you. We had number 23 at first base, Don Mattingly, so you really had no other opportunity to give Balboni an opportunity to play every day.
Well, that also happened to Showalter.
Yeah, Buck.
Yeah, you are moving County baseball. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Grisham at the plate. So the count full. Rosario will go on the pitch with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. Denver strikes out 3 in the inning. We go to the 5th. Yankees getting shut out. It's 4-0 Angels. 2 nights, 1 wild show. Banana Ball is coming to New York City. Yankee Stadium will host the Savannah Bananas on Saturday, April 25th and Sunday, April 26th. Limited ticket inventory and premium seat locations on sale now. Visit Yankees.com/bananas to secure your seats today. Top of the order for the Angels against Weathers. Neto swings and misses.
You ever seen one of the banana games?
I've seen it on TV.
Yeah. I haven't seen one live myself.
My son and his friends came last year at the stadium and they had a great time. They put on a show. All right, so this is from the Elias Sports Bureau and how rare what we're seeing. Before this series, the last game with the top 4 active hitters in home runs, you have to go back to June 12th of 1956, a Dodger-Cardinal game. And at that time, the top 4 home run active leaders were Gil Hodges, Duke Snyder, Stan Musial, and Hank Sauer. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 8. All right, so Trout has 3 home runs this series. Take a look at the exit velocity on those home runs presented by Spectrum. 108.7, 109.2, 110.1.
Very patriotic, Michael. You see the red, white, and blue now?
And those are the top 4 home run leaders, active leaders, all in this series. All in this game tonight.
We're on the top of the 5th, and it's been all Angels so far. Offensively, the Yankees have not been able to get anything going. Weathers has pitched well strikeout-wise, but giving up 4 solo home runs.
Also, we witnessed some history last night. It's the second time in Major League Baseball history where 2 3-time MVPs both hit multiple home runs in a game. You have to go back to 56 again. It was Musial and Roy Campanella.
You know, that's Stan Musial. He's in a lot of stats. He must have been pretty good.
Yep, pretty good. Those 2 guys are pretty good. I watched Trout, and what jumps out at me, he swings so hard all the time. You look at Judge, has such power. He doesn't seem like he swings that same way.
No, I mean, he uses his total body to really, and Aaron Judge is just so big that he has a natural uppercut and he just crushes the ball. But yeah, Trout really does not ever, take back and try to, feather ball right or anything.
Well, Trout has really made Weathers work. Long at bat in the second, that ended in a strikeout looking. Outfield straightaway. Rosario, the second baseman, plays up the middle. Another foul ball.
With another lengthy at bat. He got 3-2 with everything he possibly had, and ended up getting a strikeout with a slider. Went to the fastball there. So he was trying to mix it up. You just cannot do one thing to Mike Trout.
And he strikes out looking. So he struck him out looking in the second on a 12-pitch at bat. He strikes him out looking here in the 5th on an 8-pitch at bat.
Yeah, and back to the slider, and it did get a lot of the plate there on the outside corner. So
9 strikeouts for Weathers. And a strike. Trying for a second home run.
Well, you can see Weathers has really gone to plan B after the first inning. A ton of sliders, a ton of changeups, just trying to pitch away from his fastball where it's usually backwards. He's a fastball pitcher that mixes in the breaking ball and the changeup.
So with his 9 strikeouts, this is the 3rd game in his career with 9 or more strikeouts. His high is 11. He did that in 2024 while with Miami.
Well, in the pregame, I mean, we said they have not scored a run for Weathers in any of his starts so far. This is his 4th start. And again, tonight, obviously he had a big first inning, gave up 3 runs, but still no runs on the board where you feel like if you're pitching, hey, I'll just shut him down right here. My offense will get me back in the game.
Fouled away. And he strikes out the side. He has struck out 4 in a row and 5 of the last 6 batters. We're halfway through. Well, the Yankees return to Prime tomorrow to take on the Angels. Don't miss a minute of the Yankees beginning at 6:30, only on Prime. 10 strikeouts in 5 innings for Weathers, but he's allowed 4 home runs. Randall Grichuk will lead off, and he's still looking for his first Yankee hit. He's 0 for 14. Detmers deals. 1-1. In the 2009 draft, the Angels had back-to-back picks, 24 and 25. They took Grichuk before they took Trout. Yankees were going to take Trout, but then he was off the board and they took Slade Heathcott. And Grichuk down on strikes. And he's hearing some boos from the crowd. And that second pick the Angels had was a compensation pick from the Yankees when the Yankees signed Mark Teixeira. Now, what you shouldn't do is think, well, if they didn't sign Teixeira, they would have been able to pick Trout. The story is the Angels like Trout more than they like Grichuk, but they figured if they picked him one pick below, they wouldn't have to pay as much for him. So if they had just that one pick, they probably would have taken Trout.
I didn't hear that story. You learn something new every day.
That's what I'm here for you.
I like that. Shows I'm listening to you, too.
I like that. Two and one. And now, just tying it all together, Trout and Teixeira are tied all-time with 409 home runs.
I'm going to take Trout to end up ahead.
Yeah, I don't think Mark's hitting any more home runs.
Yeah, he's pretty much done.
Ground ball. Peraza. 2 down.
Well, boy, Detmers is really making things look easy. Just controlling those pitches, going after the hitters, not getting in long counts. 2 hits so far for the Yankees.
There's Jose Caballero. Struck out in the 3rd. Detmers has 7 strikeouts. Has not walked a batter. Right at Moncada. That was in self-defense. Almost knocked him down. Yankees go down in order. We go to the 6th. Nike Shack, Jordan Walker had 6 home runs last year. He has 8 home runs already this season for the Cardinals. Major League Baseball hitters, 9 players had multi-home run games yesterday, tied for the 6th most all-time. And Paul Skeens got some run support, 16 runs of it last night. And in his last 3 starts, 3-0, 1.56, trying to make it back-to-back Cy Young Awards. Jorge Soler will lead off against Weathers. Montefiore Einstein scoreboard, 4-0 Angels, 4 solo home runs for LA. 4 runs on 5 hits for the Angels, no runs, 2 hits for the Yankees. Weathers with 10 strikeouts. He struck out 4 in a row. 0-2. First game in Yankee history with 10 or more strikeouts and 4 or more home runs allowed.
You know, when you read the top line, first game in Yankee history, that's great. The 10 strikeouts, great. Well, let's just take off the end there with the 4 home runs, huh?
The first line gets me. I mean, Yankee history started in 1903, and this is the first time it's happened. You know, you have no real excuse with the Peraza thing, but in the first inning, he was proud of his fastball, and the Angels were hunting fastballs.
No doubt about it. All of them four-seamers, and now you see him really using both his off-speed pitches with the slider and the changeup, and kind of throwing this just to show the fastball out of the strike zone.
And he walks Soler. Well, he's closing in on 100 pitches. And that's all he'll throw is 94. Boone has not signaled yet. And now he has. So that's going to do it for Weathers. 5+ innings, the 4 home runs, and the 10 strikeouts. He's trailing 4-0. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Sage, proud accounting software provider of the New York Yankees. By your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com. And by the New York Lottery, this could be your lucky play. Some of the great pictures of the great Elston Howard today in 1955. He made his Yankee debut.
What was the relation? I remember Josh Hart was here from the Knicks.
I think he's a distant cousin.
Okay.
Paul Blackburn comes on. Runner on first. And there's a ground ball past the diving McMahon into left field. So Grissom picks up a single. First and second for the Angels. Nobody out.
The Angels just keep coming up with good at-bats and putting people in trouble as far as the pitchers. And you noticed it last night, and the Yankees were able to make a miraculous comeback in the 9th inning, but this ball out of the reach of McMahon.
Not a distant cousin, a great nephew. I wanted to clarify that.
All right.
So Josh is a great nephew of Elston. And Josh and his Knick teammates begin their playoff run Saturday at 6 o'clock at Madison Square Garden against the Hawks. I got the two of us seats.
I was going to say, are we going?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm going to leave you in charge of the seats. We're not in the top row, are we?
No, we're not in the first row. 4-time world champion Elston Howard won the MVP in '63. 12-time All-Star, 2 Gold Gloves. (3-0) on Ohapi.
It was funny. Speaking of the Knicks, we were at Disney World over the off season. I took the grandkids there, and walking through the lobby, the Knicks were playing the Magic in Orlando.
Right.
It's not like basketball players can
Catcher's challenging the ball call.
They're 7-footers. You know what they do.
So a challenge powered by T-Mobile.
There's a strike. The Yankees have 2 challenges remaining.
And it's a strike, so it's not a walk on Ohapi. The Yankees retain both challenges, and the Angels have both of their challenges. Grounded foul. Did you say hello to any of these?
I did. I said hello to Brunson. I talked to his father for a little while. Very friendly. We had a great time. But you know what I mean. Baseball players can walk around, and sometimes just unless
Carl Anthony Town walks by you, he does something.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, where's your basketball shoes? You have to play basketball.
Did you tell them in your conversations how great a basketball player you were?
No, I didn't think they were interested, to tell you the truth.
First and second. Nobody out here in the 6th. It's 4-0 Angels. A 3-2 count on the catcher, Logan Ohapi. And he ends up walking anyway. So bases loaded, nobody out. And this could get away from the Yankees if Blackburn doesn't settle down. Runner at first base is Weathers' responsibility. Grissom and Ohapi, they belong to Blackburn. I see Garrett Cole leaning over the dugout fence, and he's got the baseball in his hand. And it's a great line by Ron Darling in his book. He said, you grow up thinking that you grip the baseball, and then you realize that baseball grips you.
Yep. It does own you for a long time.
I think the first guy who said it was Jim Bouton in ball 4. It's just a great line. Bases loaded. Big point in the game. Yankees came back yesterday a couple of times. They don't want that mountain to be too high. Two and one.
Told you many times, kind of on that same subject, how many times you look up at the scoreboard in the old stadium and see those numbers, your average, your home runs, your RBIs, and an everyday player, when you're in the game, you're living the game at a major league level.
There's a base hit to right field by Moncada. 1 run scores. Here comes Grissom, and he will score. It's a 2-run single for Moncada, and it's 6-0 Angels, and the Bluebirds are out in the Bronx.
This is not what this series is supposed to be. A barn burner last night, and then a changeup up in the strike zone today. Boom, just at bat after at bat. And a lot of them are bad pitches, sure, but they have put together some great at bats in these first couple games.
Here's Peraza, 2 for 2 tonight. You saw his average with the 2 for 2. He's at 250 early in the season. If Peraza could hit 250, he could have a very long big league career with his glove. Grounded foul. Peraza hits the home run in the 4th, and that's the optimum fiber famously fast replay.
That was the one changeup that he gave a home run up, and it just didn't have movement down in the way. Peraza stayed with it. Quick hands, just hooked it in the left field seats.
Three and one. Ground ball, foul. And the payoff. That one's ripped to left field. A base hit in front of Grichuk. Runners held up, so they advance 1. Then the bases are loaded, and Peraza is 3 for 3.
You come back to face your ex-team, Matt Blake going to head out, then you have a little extra incentive to do something good. And Peraza off to a great start tonight. 3rd hit, including a home run. And this ball hit on the screws. Grichuk kind of in between. Either dive for that ball, and if he gets by you, the circus starts with runners all over the place. But elected to let it bounce.
Just called up today. De Los Santos heating up. And here is Teodosio. Yankees play back for the double play. The only one in is Goldschmidt at first. Popped up. Judge and Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt has a chance and makes the play and fires home, holding Ohapi at third. Nice play by Goldschmidt.
Yeah, it was. And in the back of his mind, knowing that he's going to make an awkward catch over there, that he's got to spin and get rid of the ball. First thing, obviously, catch the ball. Almost came out, but then a quick turn, get rid of it. Well, that first baseman, they get a little extra length on that glove. Keep that ball in there.
Zach Neto. And a strike. Wells came up faking the throw to third. McMahon wasn't there, but it did chase Ohapi back.
It's a catcher's balk right there, man.
Yeah.
Nobody home.
I don't know if it was a deke or if somebody missed a sign about covering. Oh, and 2.
Guess who's on deck, Michael? Did I say that he hits every inning?
Mr. Trout. The pitch.
Catcher's challenging the ball call.
And that's challenged by Wells. ABS powered by T-Mobile. Call the ball. It is a strike.
And a strike. The Yankees have 2 challenges remaining.
So Neto strikes out looking.
I think Ryan Wills over his back. Hey, you happy now?
Here's Trout now with the bases loaded and 2 outs. 6-0 Angels in the 6th. And a strike from Blackburn. One and one. Well, he likes hitting with the bases loaded. 388.
It's a few opportunities just in these first 2 games. It seems like the runners on base ahead of his at-bats.
Left field, Grichuk will make the play. Hit it well, but right at Grichuk. They scored 2. They leave the bases loaded. Time to name that Yankee, brought to you by Prevagen, made for your brain. 2,135 hits, a lot of home runs, hit by a pitch 267 times. So is it the Yankees 83, 84, and 85. A couple of stints with the A's. Angels 77 to 82. I think I have this one. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You have a clue, Paul?
I'm studying it over.
Okay.
It's a pretty big number, so it's got to be
Pretty good player. And if it's the guy I'm thinking of, has an MVP too. It was Ryan McMahon and a bunt right back to Detmers. Oh, does Detmers love that? 1 pitch, 1 out. This is a crowd that is getting restless.
So I got a question for me, and maybe I don't know that you're going to get this answer.
All right.
You were talking about Jim Bouton, right?
Yep.
After baseball, he used his name to do things with companies and things like that. He had one kind of invention from the game of baseball, and he made it. Finally, I'll give you a clue, and then you'll probably get it.
Give me a clue. Don't. I don't deserve a clue.
Finally got it okay to put out to kids as a fun thing.
Yeah.
1 billion packets later.
All right, so when I answer this question, do I get total respect from you? Big League Chew.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is impressive.
Yep.
That is impressive. He got the Wrigley Company to sponsor that, and he came up with Big League Chew. Wow.
Charlie chews a lot of it.
Way too much time on your hands. You know that?
The 0-2. And down goes Goldschmidt. So Goldschmidt's 0 for 3 against the lefty Detmers. Detmers really dealing. That's his 8th strikeout. Paul, what's he doing? I mean, he's not overpowering.
No, he's locating with a couple pitches, and it's been, it's making it very simple. And he's got a lead. He's pitching to the scoreboard, not getting behind, not walking people, staying on the corners. Aaron Judge almost laughing like I should challenge this too, but not going to.
Everybody thought that Judge would be one of the bigger beneficiaries of ABS. And as we told you earlier, he's only challenged 2 calls. 1-2.
What we went over in the scouting report, really, he hasn't got away from it. Fastball, slider, the majority of the time. Every once in a while, a changeup or bigger breaking ball. But again, to be able to control a couple pitches, throw them where you want, makes pitching look simple. You brought up Max Fried. I mean, to be able to control 5 or 6 different pitches, a lot of pitchers try to do it, but a lot of pitchers don't have the ability to do it. And that you just got to stick with fastball, changeup, fastball, breaking ball, and be able to use those 2 pitches aggressively.
Popped up on the right side. And that's in the seats. Two down. Judge 0 for 2 tonight. And a 1-2 count. And he goes down on strikes. 9 strikeouts and no walks for Detmers. We played 6 in the Bronx. 6-0 Angels. The Yankees hockey jersey night is back for 2026. Come out to Yankee Stadium this Friday, April 17th, when the Yankees take on the Royals. First 18,000 guests in attendance are going to receive a Yankees hockey jersey courtesy of StubHub. Tickets are going fast, so get yours today at Yankees.com. Yerry De Los Santos. So he did last season. Got called up when the Yankees sent down Jake Bird after last night's game. And a strike. Adele, Soler, and Grissom. He checks the swing, 1-1.
Some people look like they're throwing hard, Michael, because everything they put into it, they're grunting and everything else. De Los Santos just looks like he's playing catch out there, and then you look up and it's 96-97.
and goes back even harder.
Well, he went doing a change up there, and it did. It went back harder, and he threw it, I think.
Help America's Heroes. Donate $11 a month and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to t2t.org. So Adele with 2 hits. The 9th hit for the Angels. Here's Jorge Soler. And a strike.
And Michael, I spoke to Yuri in the clubhouse earlier today, and he told me since the Rail Riders were off yesterday, as the Yankees turned that double play to give him 2 outs in the inning, he was at the team hotel, and he got a phone call saying, "You're heading to the big leagues." And he said it's always an exciting phone call to get, but he has been here before. He said he's very, very confident right now with where he's at mechanically, where his pitches are at, and the biggest key for him is just to remember to keep it simple out there on the mound. Attack hitters, create soft contact, get those quick outs. We saw that right there, Michael.
2 quick outs. And the pitch outside to Grissom.
Could that have been any better? You're talking about soft contact after a leadoff base hit. Boom, you get the double play. That's what Meredith's talking about. A little sinker ball, keep it in on the ground, turn 2.
2-0. Oh, it's a challenge without the words by T-Mobile. Oh, wow. So the ball is overturned. It is a strike. Yankees on fire today, ABS-wise.
I think Wills is going to be on fire, too. It seems like every challenge is going against him.
Two and one. And a strike. Among all relievers with 35 or more innings last year, De Los Santos was 10th in ground ball rate and 5th in home runs per 9 innings.
Yeah, some guys just need to stay with this particular pitch. And when you've got a good sinker as he does, 96, 97 with good movement, there's really no reason other than to show a slider off of the plate, possibly to righties. But, you want ground balls, you want outs. And a lot of times it doesn't turn the scout's head because they want all the swing and miss stuff. But ground balls are good things.
3-2 on Grisham. Still 3-2. I wonder if she's listening to Dave and Susan. And there's a walk. 2 down, 1 on. And that brings up the catcher, Ohapi. 6th batter in the lineup for the Angels. Angels trying to get back to 500. They hold on. They go to 9-9. Still plenty of baseball to go. And a strike from De Los Santos. We mentioned all the runs that were scored yesterday, Paul. The Pirates 16, Phillies 13, Twins 13. Yesterday's average of 7.2 runs per team game was the highest of any day in the Major League since July 18th of 1936. Ground ball, Caballero. gets the force, and that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Angels lead the Yankees by a score of 6-0, and we'll stay right here as we honor America here in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you rise, remove your caps, and please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest. United States Army Specialist Pascual Cassiano from Staten Island, who served in Operation Iraqi Freedom. The Yankees say thank you, Pascual, for your sacrifice and for your service to our nation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please join us in singing along with Robert Merrill's rendition of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her. Through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, white before. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
All right, fans.
Angels, and as you mentioned, no runs, 2 hits for the Yankees. Detmers has been great. 4 home runs by the Angels. Ryan Weathers won 5. Struck out 10, but he gave up those 4 home runs. That's a career high. And the Yankee hits, both singles, Rosario and McMahon. So Detmer's still out there. 84 pitches for Detmers. It'll be 3, 4, and 5 in the Yankee order. And by keeping the lefty out there, a starter that maybe could go 7, you're holding those lefties on the bench where Boone can't deploy them.
Yeah, I mean, you're at a point in the game right now with 9 outs left, down 6 runs. You know, you're just trying to get every out. If you're Suzuki, just save your bullpen. And Aaron Boone, you got to make a judgment call whether, you think that you want to give Cody Bellinger or Chisholm a total night off, or get them off the bench and have the opportunity to hit, but also have the opportunity to have an at-bat they're not happy with, which takes your confidence away even more.
And if Suzuki wants to keep him on the bench, he's got 3 lefties in the bullpen that he can go to. Because once he goes to a righty, then Boone's going to go to those guys. Great pitch, 2-2. Popped up. Grissom gives it a look. That makes the seats.
And if you break down what Detmers has done, I mean, just look at this at bat. I mean, off speed down and away, then a fastball up and in, and it's just got hitters off balance, not able to really sit on any location, any pitch.
Two. 3-2. Rosario trying to get on. Rosario 1 for 2. He has one of the 2 Yankee hits. High fly ball center field. Trout has room. So Detmers has 9 strikeouts. We'll take a look at them on StatCast 3D by Google Cloud. little chasing going on, too, because
that
purple pitches
one,
out of the zone.
The purple one to a lefty. I'm not happy with that at bat right there, huh?
So here's Stanton. Stanton 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts tonight against Detmers. Oh and 2. Grounded to third. Moncada throws it in the dirt, and Grissom picks it, and Stanton's out for the second out of the inning.
Well, Moncada, you know your runner, and it was all about the accuracy of the throw. It was going to get there in plenty of time, but is it going to pull the first baseman off? No, he made a stellar play. I mean, he's made a couple really good plays tonight, but again, intentionally just a one hopper right on the money.
Here's Trent Grisham, big night last night, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts today. That's up the middle, grabbed there by Neto, and he turns a hit into an out as the Yankees go down in order. He is dealing 11 Yankees retired in a row. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees, and by Delta, the official airline. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees, and by Delta, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Delta, keep climbing. De Los Santos still out there on the mound. Hyundai scoreboard 6-0 Angels. We start the 8th inning, and there's a strike to Moncada. So it's the bottom third of LA's order. Moncada, Peraza, and Teodosio. One on one.
Really gotta like De Los Santos' arm. I mean, to me, obviously my opinion, I mean, he doesn't need to throw off speed that much. I mean, I was asking James in between innings, and last year he was at, like 55, 57% with that sinker. In my mind, he should be up around 75. I mean, just to show off speed stuff, but his bread and butter, his out pitch,
that might be out as Judge back, gone. Into the short porch, Moncada with a solo shot. 5th home run for the Angels, and it is 7-0 LA.
Well, Anaheim has really shown something since they got here in the Bronx. De Santos knows that ball that was supposed to be a sinker just was flat right down the middle of the plate. No sink to it. When you hit it as a lefty here, it's just not a better feeling because you know the wind can't affect it. You know the fence is fairly shallow.
De Los Santos just got porched. Last year, De Los Santos allowed just 1 home run in 35 2/3 innings, and that one was to Roman Anthony. Three ribbies from Moncada, a 2-run single, and now 2nd home run of the year. Came in hitting 156. So 5 solo home runs for the Angels. 3 in the 1st, Peraza in the 4th, and now Moncada in the 8th. All started with Trout's one-out home run in the first. Strike 3, challenged by Peraza. ABS powered by T-Mobile. Let's see if Peraza's right.
I'm going for a strike here, Michael. Whoop.
Challenge successful.
Wow. 1.2 inches. That seems like a lot now when you look at some of these challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Now, I was wondering if you gave everybody truth serum, managers, all the players, you could hit a button, life with ABS or life without. I wonder what they choose. I mean, you want the calls to be right, I get that, but there's a lot of disappointment in it, too, if you get it wrong.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guarantee it'd be a different narrative if you ask the hitters. I think hitters love the ability to challenge, as Peraza did here, and take away that ball that's off the outside corner, where pitchers have been getting strikes since the beginning of the game. I hate to say it. It's just the nature of it. If you make great pitches off the outside corner, you usually get the call.
Do you agree, though, what Bobby Valentine posted on X, where he said, it's another responsibility for a hitter. You have to think about hitting. You're not an umpire.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess he doesn't like it for a hitter.
Yeah, but I mean, as you're tracking the ball, you, believe it or not, there is a time where it's strike or ball, and then that's where I actually think sometimes a pitcher or a catcher's framing ability could help the pitcher, because as you're tracking the ball and you see it, and then you kind of see where the catcher's glove is. Mm-hmm. You have the ability to think that ball was a ball. And then you see the catcher's glove move. Now you're sure it's a ball, because if it was a strike, why are you moving your glove? So you end up challenging.
I've always wondered why umpires fall for framing. If you see a guy move his glove, then in all likelihood it's probably not a strike. And I've thought this a lot. If I was an umpire, before a game began, I tell each catcher, I see you move your glove.
The ball.
It's a ball.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Because you wouldn't be framing it if you thought it was a strike.
That's right.
There's ball 4. Great night for Peraza. Continues, because what's the difference, Paul, between framing and flopping in the NBA?
And I can't stand flopping.
Right.
So you know what? I understand what you're saying now. But there's an ability to catch the ball and maybe turn it.
Mm-hmm.
But you see a high school kid catch the ball in the other batter's box and rip it into the strike zone. I mean, come on. Who are you trying to fool here?
Here's Teodosio, and you see Wells say, watch out for the bunt. And a strike.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be a very smart thing to do with a 7-run lead, is to lay down a bunt. That doesn't go over real well.
Slow roller. Fair ball. It's going to be a hit.
How about a swinging?
It's a hit.
Huh?
Well, Yes's next game is Thursday afternoon as the Yankees and the Angels play the series finale here in the Bronx. Coverage begins at 1 with the FanDuel pregame, and first pitch is scheduled for shortly after 1:30 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Now remember, tomorrow night's game is on Prime, but Yes will have the live batting practice show at 6 p.m. before the Prime pregame at 6:30. First and second, nobody out. 1 run in with the home run by Moncada. And here, top of the order is Zach Neto. He's got 3 strikeouts tonight. He's 0 for 4. And a strike. Oh, 0-2. Now, Neto had more success offensively last year, Paul, moving up a few inches in the batter's box. He said, I just want to hit the ball in front of the plate. You know, trying to get the ball before it's dancing. You buy that?
A lot of people think that you can move, you know, to hit breaking balls before they break. Fastballs at the back of the box, you have a little more time. I think it just comes down to consistency. You either hit at the back of the box or where you're comfortable, you know, to start changing between pitches. Catchers see that and they'll adjust to it. But I was always at the back, right? You know, you see those marks on the back. It just seems like you have a little bit more time to see the ball.
But you will get the break, though, on a breaking ball.
Yeah, but, I mean, you're not really worried about that. It's about committing to hitting the strike. I mean, the longer you see the ball, whether it's an extra couple feet or not, the better chance you have of reading strike or ball.
Suter warming up. We're going to have to check to see how long De Los Santos went in his games in the minors. He might be getting a little gassed right now at 40.
I think his last outing down there was, what, 22 pitches?
Yeah. And the Yankees getting Hedrick up in the bullpen. That was Saturday, the 22 pitches. And the payoff.
Well, you want to be a catcher, huh? Ouch.
Well, De Los Santos high, 35 pitches in 2 2/3 innings. That was last Wednesday. So he's at 42 right now. Strike 3. Now, there might be people that are watching the game rolling their eyes. Well, what's the big difference? Well, if you train for a 3-minute round and all of a sudden you're asked to have a 4-minute round, it affects you.
Especially when you're just coming up in the minor leagues, where you're much more comfortable, free and easy. Now you're coming back to the major leagues, a little extra incentive, a little more emotion. I've been impressed, though. I mean, other than the one sinker he got up that was flat, I mean, you have to love his stuff.
I think that trip was to give Hedrick a little more time.
It's Mike Trout. Hedrick might say, hey, I'm not ready yet.
Trout 1 for 4, the one a home run. This could be 2. There's 1. And there's 2. Trout could still get down the line, but they turn the double play as De Los Santos gets out of further trouble. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Well, fans, Yankee games on Yes are streaming live on the Gotham Sports app, included for free with your eligible TV provider subscription. Download and sign into the Gotham Sports app now and check out all the great Yankees content, including game highlights, post-game sound, and much more. Detmer's still out there. Hyundai scoreboard shows he's leading 7-0. He's allowed 2 singles. He has not walked a batter. He struck out 9. And Grichuk rips one into left center field, and there it is. That's his first Yankee hit, a leadoff double. So that breaks an 0 for 15.
Well, you brought Randall Grichuk in here to hit lefties, and over his career, he's been able to do that. He got off to a tough start, but Aaron Boone knows if he gets enough at-bats against lefties, he's going to do some stuff, and good swing right there. Ball away up. He's got a very level swing, which enables him to drive that ball to left center field.
Well, it's got to feel good for him. Signed late, joined the Yankees in spring training, and he's center field. It's a base hit for Wells. Grichuk will advance to third and stop right there. So the Yankees double their hit total here in the 8th inning. They now have 4. And they have runners on the corners and nobody out.
A good curveball, and then he went to a slider, which is kind of flat. And Wells did a really good job of staying with it, not coming off of it, and just driving it up the middle. And that's going to be the end of the night for Bettman.
You got Caballero and McMahon due up. You got the lefties on the bench. Let's see who Suzuki goes to. Yankees trying to rally. First and third, nobody out. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Nissan. Hop into a Nissan Rogue and hit the road to adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com. And by Optimum Fiber, famously fast fiber internet. Chase Silseth will come on. And they're going to stay with Caballero.
A big power pitcher here. Over the top, throws hard. Got a slider and a changeup, but he could get the upper 90s on a good night. Detmers has got to be happy the way he threw the ball tonight. Really, really just shut down the Yankees all the way through 7 innings.
Came in with a 4.60 ERA. Silseth has given up a run in back-to-back appearances after 6 scoreless games to begin this season. One 1-0 on Caballero. Well, he's got to face 3, so unless somebody hits into a double play, Goldschmidt is due up. That's somebody they will pinch hit for against the righty. And Caballero seems to have a lot of these discussions with home plate umpires, long discussions.
Yeah, he says he knows the rule and he's not making eye contact with 8 seconds.
Out of there so that Caballero could get tossed. Then had his time to have to say.
He had not made eye contact. Caballero got back in the box.
One. 2-1. Each team have both their ABS challenges.
Yeah, I noticed that last inning, Michael. They're both intact, still 2, but because last night, you remember the Angels lost, the second inning, they were out.
Good splitter, 2-2. So Bellinger has a bat, Rice has a bat, and Chisholm has a bat. Who gets called on first? Late swing, foul the bat. That was an emergency.
You know, you commit, and sometimes that ball just keeps coming in on you. You have to go through with the swing, but you just hope that you foul it off. The ball almost hit him in the hand.
Surprised the bat didn't break.
Yeah, sometimes it hits so low that you don't swing hard enough to break it.
And he's worked the count full. Crowd of 37,792.
Smelling a hit there?
I think he's trying to smell a hit. Or Pinocchio told a lie. 3-2. Fly ball right field. Adele makes the play. Grichuk stays put. When you're down by 7, you're not taking a chance. So that long battle was won by Silseth. So now with the lefty McMahon due up, they're still going to go to Ben Rice. So Rice will pinch hit for McMahon. In the bottom of the 8th inning, Yankees looking for their first run. They're down 7-0. They've been victimized by 5 solo home runs by the Angels. Probably see Hendrick in the 9th. '25-year-old Silseth sets. 0-1.
Well, it's hard to sit on that split finger when you got throwing 97, 98 with a sinker. You can see how if he gets it rolling where he throws his strikes with all 3 of his pitches, he can be nasty.
Quickly 0-2 on Rice. Rice came out in the 5th inning yesterday, walked, then he singled and struck out, so he was 1 for 2. And he didn't start the game. 1-2 on the pinch hitter Rice. McMahon was 1 for 2. Infield single at 3rd, then tried to bunt his way on, bunted back to the pitcher. Fly ball, left side, Teodosio toward the line, makes the catch, tagging and scoring is Grichuk. Yankees have a run on the sac fly by Ben Rice, and it's 7-1.
Well, just because of the awkward way that he caught this ball going towards the wall, Grichuk just decided that he could probably easily score. The ball was cut off and not even let it go through. And a productive bat coming off the bench for Ben Rice.
Those scouting reports from your teammates, did they help?
Yeah, they do. I mean, you can really tell movement, velocity. You know, I'm seeing the ball well. His split finger goes not only down, goes away. So, a lot of things on paper is just velocity and location and tendencies where, you get a true view from a guy that just came from hitting it, even though Ben Rice is lefty and Aaron Judge is righty.
So now, Jazz Chisholm will pinch hit for Paul Goldschmidt. Judge is on deck. 7-1 Angels. Yankees finally on the board here in the bottom of the 8th. Shattered bat, a short of it goes up the first base line, and the ball goes to third base line. Perfectly broken, though. It had the signature on it.
It's a gift shop special right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Detmers, who started this game and faced 2 batters here in the 8th, threw 99 pitches. How about this, Paul? 69 strikes.
Wow. He was successful. There's no doubt about it. You saw some curveballs, some changeups late, third time through the lineup, but for the most part, early in the game, fastball slider just located well. Never allowed the Yankees to really get anything going.
That run that just scored, though, does smudge his ledger. Runner at first, also his responsibility. 2-2. Buzz the tower. 3-2. So that's going to release Wells at first. Grissom backs up at first, so Wells gets a nice lead, and he'll go. And Chisholm calls time. And Jazz swings and misses, and that'll do it. 1 run, 2 hits.
Fans, after the final out, get highlights, analysis, clubhouse interviews, and hear from Aaron Boone on the manager's report. That's all coming up on the W.B. Mason Yankees postgame. At this point, there's not going to be a lot to talk about in that postgame show, Michael. So,
oh, they'll find stuff.
Why? What happened?
Yeah. So, Brent Hedrick, 10 games so far this year. He's pitched well. 12 strikeouts in 8 1/3 innings. And those are the changes. Rice takes over at first. Rosario moves to third from second. And Jazz stays in at second base. So after 11 runs last night, the Yankees have found it very difficult to push across runs tonight. Detmers was outstanding, and they threatened a bit in the 8th inning, but just got 1. So we go to the 9th. It'll be Adele, Soler, and Grissom. And that's a ball, and it's a challenge by Wells. ABS powered by T-Mobile. Let's see. And they lose a challenge as Wells was wrong. Fly ball shallow right. Judge puts it away. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Nissan. Hop into a Nissan Rogue and hit the road to adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com. And by Optimum Fiber, famously fast fiber internet. I told you Hedrick is making his 11th appearance. That's tops in the major leagues, but they've all been short outings. He's only 42nd in relief innings, coming into this one 8 1/3. Two and 0 on Soler. Soler with a home run in the first inning, walked and scored in the 6th. Foul back. Upstairs. Ryan Sefferjohn warming up. And there's a walk to Soler. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. You got that right, Paul?
Have you done your math and then figured out how many times you've said that?
Well, we should go
about 145 times a year.
135 games a year for 25 years.
I'm going to help you out here.
All right.
$135 times how many years?
Well, James has figured out 3,375. And that's just around, I'm not exactly sure. It's over 3,000 times.
Huh?
Line drive, it's a base hit to left field by Grissom. As Soler stops at second. Here's the dirty little secret, Paul. If you did not hand me that sheet,
yeah,
I couldn't do it.
That, after 3,000 times,
yeah,
you know, I might be able to wheel off Homer's DeGillia. What would he write? That big long book. What was the name of that?
Odyssey?
Yeah, there you go. After 3,000 times, I might be able to recite that to you.
So there, Paul, there's some basic math. 135 times 25. Although this is the 25th year, so we can't give me the 135 there.
Ah, okay. So you got a ways to go.
Yeah. And then every now and then in the 10 years with John, he'd let me read it. Those were bonus ones.
Michael, you also had the 1 year where you were on the IL for a couple of weeks, so you got to shave some off.
Look at Meredith taking a shot.
Way down.
I had vocal cord surgery, Meredith. Goodness. I wasn't on a Caribbean island.
I said IL, brought to you by Montefiore.
1-2 on O'Hoppe.
I was getting nervous, too. I mean, we're in the 9th inning here, man. You can't go home without it.
Popped up. Here's what I always wanted to know. No one's ever told me, Paul. What happens if I didn't do it and people did disseminate? What would happen to them?
I was just going to say,
would they be arrested?
They disseminate. We'd have all kind of just turmoil.
All
going
sorts
on.
of problems. So here's Adam Frazier, who came in on defense. 0-1. This is Moncada's spot. Moncada had 3 ribbies, 2 for 4 home run, and a 2-run single.
Like, I know about when games get to about 3 hours.
Right.
I don't even need the clock anymore. My ears start hurting. The headphones start hurting my ears. I'm like, all right, we got to be there at the 3 hour mark.
Ground ball and grabbed there by Jazz Chisholm. Nice play. Saved the run and took the base hit away. Angel strand 2. Yankees coming up in the bottom of the ninth. It's time to find out. Name that Yankee. Really good player, Paul. And it is, I believe, Don Baylor.
Yeah, he was a good player.
And he got hit with a lot of pitches.
He wouldn't flinch. You just get on the plate. If you hit him, you hit him. Wow.
That upper deck in left field. Wow, that's a blast. Then falls down to the lower deck. And he can run. Wow. Very well-respected teammate, too. That was in the old Comiskey. Won the MVP in '79, although it should have been Ken Singleton. 1987 world champion with the Twins. Two-time Silver Slugger with the Yanks. Man they call Groove. And he was traded to the Red Sox on March 28th of 1986 for Mike Easler. Ryan Severjohn is the new pitcher for the Angels, and count 0-2 on Judge. Judge is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts tonight.
Remember Baylor, manager with the Rockies. He might have been the first with the Rockies, huh?
Yeah. Fouled away. Zephyr John, 28 years old, 3rd big league season. Foul back. Another foul ball. Angels jumped out early with back-to-back-to-back home runs in the first inning. They've never looked back. That one just missed. They led 3-0 before the Yankees came to the plate. And they made it 4-0. 6-0, 7-0, and then the Yankees added a run in the bottom of the 8th at 7-1. Bottom of the 9th inning now. Just missed. 3-2 on Judge. That was 99 miles an hour.
Yeah, just off the outside corner.
Popped up. Let's see if it stays in play. Nope.
I was going to say, he better hurry up and throw a pitch. The Oregon player is going to be 100 miles an hour here before he comes. He just kept going faster and faster.
Another foul ball. So it's an 11-pitch at bat.
Yeah, you don't know how this at bat is going to end up, but this is why Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge. I mean, you look at the scoreboard, it's the 9th inning, and he's just continually having good swings and good at-bats.
Driven into left center field. On the run, Teodosio, he can't get there. Knocks the ball down on the warning track, but Judge is able to get the second with a leadoff double. So he won that 12-pitch battle.
Well, you just don't know how hard it is to keep your concentration. You're down 6 runs in the 9th inning, no offense. Long at bat, you get the little slider. You see he kind of one-hands this and still has the ability to shoot it in the left field gap. But just so easy to mail it in late in the game. Not Aaron Judge.
Tip of the cap to Zeferjan. Rosario takes the ball 1-0. Now 1-1. Along with Meredith Morakovitz and Paul O'Neill, I'm Michael Kay. We thank you so much for spending part of your Tuesday evening with us here on the Yes Network. It's 7-1 Angels over the Yanks. Tomorrow, you can find us on Prime. And then on Thursday, it's a 1:30 start. And you can find us on Yes. Broken bat, ground ball is short. 1 away. Yankees have Luis Gil going tomorrow. The Angels not officially announced their starter yet. And then the Thursday afternoon matinee will be Max Fried. So Gil against the Rays, he took the loss, 4 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, walked 3, struck out 2, and threw 88 pitches.
When you break down Gil, it's all about walks. If he can stay in the strike zone and make people beat him, he's very successful.
Well, that was his first start of the season on the big league level. Yankees in the middle of a run of 13 straight games without an off day. Is the upcoming schedule tomorrow on Prime, then Yes, 1:35. Then the Royals coming to town. All those games on Yes. Then a long road trip for the Yanks. Long road trip. The 2 Texas teams, and it starts with Boston on Tuesday. 9 games. Two and 2 on Stanton. Giancarlo is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. And he goes down on strikes for the 3rd time tonight. The Yankees are down to their final out.
Breaking ball, not a great one to the end, and then all of a sudden, see you later.
So here's Trent Grisham, had such a wonderful night last night. Came into the game in the 5th inning. 3-run home run, a 2-run home run. Gave the Yankees a 7-4 lead. Tied the game in the bottom of the 9th inning at 10-10 with a 2-run home run. But tonight he's 0 for 3. Judge leads off second. Neto shades up the middle. And the third baseman, Peraza, playing where he would play if he was playing shortstop. What was that?
Wow.
55 miles an hour.
He slipped it. Usually you see the pitcher like lawn darter to just launch at this ball. I believe it was a strike.
Wow.
Let's see this. Just a little bit outside. It was 55.
Did he go? Yes, he did. So now the count forward 3-2. Yankees down to their final strike. Swing and a miss, and that'll do it. Not the Yankees' night as they lose this one 7-1. Reed Detmers was outstanding. A lot of solo home runs off the bats of the Angels. Mike Trout started it, and they never looked back.
Well, it was a slugfest last night. It was a slugfest only on one end tonight, and that was the Angels. They got busy early with 3 home runs in the first inning, but offense could not get them back in the game. Really never got anything going all night.
3 straight home runs in the first inning, and that was it. Yankees couldn't get on track offensively. We'll come back the post game after that. Yankees lose this one 7-1. We take a look at the game-changing drives of the game brought to you by Audi and the all-new Audi Q3.
Well, it was a loud first inning. Started with Mike Trout, his 5th of the year, and they weren't finished. Joe Adell, back-to-back. That's his 2nd of the year, and then Soler. Yeah, let's make it 3 in a row. Big first inning for the Angels.
And they never looked back. And the reason why they never looked back is the Chevy player of the game.
Yeah, he was really good. Reed Detmers, 7 innings, 1 run, 9 strikeouts, and no walks. By far his best start of the year for the Angels.
So they even up the series in a game apiece. 2 more games to go. 7-12-0 for the Angels, 1-5-0 for the Yanks. It took 2 hours and 56 minutes. Detmers' his first win. Weathers' his 2nd loss. We told you about the home runs. Weathers struck out 10, but allowed 4 home runs in 5 innings of work. Coming up on the Yes Network, stay tuned for the WB Mason postgame show with Justin Shackle and Todd Frazier. Special thanks to producer Troy Benjamin, director Dan Barr, Mike Webb, and the executive producer of the Yes Network is Mr. Jared Ames Boschnack. Join us again tomorrow as the Yankees play Game 3 against the Halos here in the Bronx. Coverage will begin at 6 p.m. on Yes, and pregame coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. on Prime, with first pitch coming shortly after 7. Once again, the final score of the Angels 7, Yankees 1. For Paul O'Neill and Meredith Marakovitz, I'm Michael K. saying see ya from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Now let's go to Justin Shackle and Todd Frazier standing by with the postgame show. Guys?